An activity involving physical exertion. Incorrect, Mr. Webster, you fraud. If this was the case, then darts would not be considered a sport. And how can we say that when darts is the sport of kings and queens? It is the sport of equals, where men who have never seen letters can compete against men with mohawks, where women stand shoulder to shoulder with their male counterparts instead of being sidelined into their own league. A sport which inexplicably gives drunken men the chance to deliver airborne aids to anyone that comes into contact with their ancient weaponry. Darts is a sport, and much like any other sport, I'm shit at it. But that's why they invented video games, so people like me who have no real life skills can pretend to be good at something equally as meaningless. And there was no time more prolific to get your virtual hands on a set of virtual darts than in the 80s. And a bit of the 90s. The ZX Spectrum played host to a number of darts games, but let's get one thing straight. I'm not going to play all of them because I'm already bored of darts games. And let's be honest, this review is a compilation of darts games because even I find it a struggle to talk about one single darts game for the entirety of a video. I might waffle on forever about now, but even I have my limits. 180 from Mad Games, so called because the best score you can get in a round is 180. That's clever, isn't it? Good naming convention, I like it. Bonus points for you. This being a Mastertronic joint, the main menu is boring as balls, but once in the game, things get a bit better. I try my hand out at some round-the-clock gameplay, completely forgetting that I'm playing round-the-clock about 2 seconds into it. Controls here take a little getting used to. Up, down, left and right aren't what you or I would describe as that. Instead, they move diagonally, and your dart always flies at a specific arc, so the trick here is to move your wobbling hand into position before hitting the fire button. It does a good job of making the game tricky, and oh Christ, what is that? Yeah, the characters in this game are absolutely horrific, considering how nicely the hand is animated. I have no idea why they got someone's 4-year-old to draw the misfits you're up against. They're also, straight off the bat, pretty tough opponents. This absolute goblin of a man will put you to bed if you don't master those controls quickly, and the second opponent took me out without much of a fight as well. Also, this is what happens when you get 180. 180! Horrendous. Still, overall, good game. Always nice to see darts being played in its natural setting too. Good work, Mastertronic. For once. I give this one 150 out of 180. Wacky Darts is next, hosting what is likely to be the prettiest looking version of darts you'd expect for the ZX Spectrum. Presentation is absolutely on point here, with a little TV man constantly giving you feedback and looking all smug with himself. The barmaid has a lovely pair of eyes, and everything is just very animated and exciting. It's also got aliens in it. And ninjas. I mean, it's called Wacky Darts, you've got to expect some level of wackiness. It doesn't really add anything to the gameplay outside the presentation layer, but it's something neat to look at in between turns, and you can skip it too, which is a massive boost to my patience. Come on, Gordon! Come on, Gordon! Come on. Come on, Gordon. Yeah, that shit gets old. Thank you, skippable cutscenes. Gameplay-wise, it's totally different to Wacky Darts. It's a lot harder, for one thing. It's a bit like trying to play darts with a weight attached to your arm while a fan tries to blow you off course. Your arm flings about like a disembodied tentacle. It's almost impossible to describe without playing it yourself, but imagine, if you will, that you wanted to move your arm to the right a few inches, but instead of moving it normally, you had to accelerate your arm in that direction, while also accelerating it away from gravity, and then just before it reached its horizontal destination, you had to accelerate in the opposite direction to slow your arm down. It's not realistic, granted, but it does add a bit more skill to the whole digital darting affair, and I appreciate the fact there's a darts game with a magician in it that makes everyone speak upside down for no reason. 180 out of 180. Bully's Sporting Darts is next, based on everyone's favourite TV darts mascot. This bull has seen things you wouldn't believe. For those who aren't 45 or live anywhere other than this sceptred isle, darts was so popular at one point that they made a game show about it. It was very, very popular. It was so popular that they made a game about it with the most confusing menu I've ever come across. You press left and right and something is happening. I have no idea what. How does any of this work? Anyway, this is a pretty piss-poor standard, especially with it being licensed and everything. There's no computer opponent to try your luck against, so you either play against yourself or stick to the solo modes. There's quite a few game modes, to be fair, but I couldn't be arsed with 90% of them because it looks boring. It controls roughly the same way as Wacky Darts does, but unless you've got a boring friend who's also shit at darts and wants to play a ZX Spectrum version of it, there's not a great deal here that couldn't be played on the other ones. 70 out of 180. Eric Bristow's Pro Darts. Well, this has got to be good. It's got Eric Bristow's name on it. Eric Bristow wouldn't let me down. Okay, well, the graphics aren't up to much. It did come out in 1984, so I'll forgive it that. What's happening? Is this the computer's turn? Okay, well, just wait for my turn then. Enter SN, TN, DN, 25 or 50. What? TN. Oh, wait, is it asking me to type what I want to aim for? Okay, a triple 20? Is this... This can't be it. Let me check the inlay. Mathematical calculation of errors to simulate the scores obtained by players of a professional standard. Rebound off other darts or the wire. Automatic aiming of darts to any single, double, treble, the outer or bull. They literally advertise this like it's a feature. This is all the game does. You type in where you want to throw your dart, then it rolls a dice to see if you did it or not. Oh my word, Eric Bristow, what have you done? 1 out of 180. Jocky Wilson's Darts Compendium. Well, this has got to be good. It's got Jocky Wilson's name on it. Jocky Wilson wouldn't let me down. Okay. Right, well, it looks nice. It looks nice. Yeah, presentation-wise, these big graphics for the computer playing looks great. The board is fine, whatever. It's the controls. The controls for all of these games are difficult on purpose, I might add. But there's a degree of finesse to them. This is just bizarre. This thing just never stops spinning in circles. It moves like the magic pencil from Words and Pictures. Thankfully, the computer is relatively lenient or inept because I was still 424 by the time the AI had reached 5, and I ended up winning because apparently he started to suffer from the same broken wrist issues that I was having. It's fine. 100 out of 180. It's just the same bloody thing. 99 out of 180. Darts Lord, written by Lord Insanity. Look at all that text, no one needs to read that. Okay, I like this one.